You don't go to school, you can't be educated.
New details about the 16 Ciders children and the paper trail that suggests someone was searching for them long before they were ever found.
So when we're talking reading and writing and education, we're talking a whole nother level of expectations here.
I have the explosive records that reveal this story began long before we thought it did, plus the big move made by the judge to stop people from talking about the case. I'm Anjanette Levy, and this is Crime Fix. We have a lot to discuss with the Ciders case out of Ohio, a lot. We've uncovered some new details, and the judge has actually signed a gag order, preventing the people involved in the case on the prosecution side or the defense from talking about it. But first of all, I've been telling you that Children's Services in Ohio County had been in touch with members of the Ciders family. Well, now we have documents showing there was not only concern by Children's Services about the Cider children, but also grave concern on the part of the school district where the Ciders children were supposed to attend school.
Through that right now, some of these children couldn't even speak. Yeah. So, I mean, we're talking it was terrible. I mean, it looked like almost feral animals. It was terrible. Imagine a room 12 feet by 12 feet. That's the size of a modest shed, the dimensions of a walk-in closet. Now imagine 16 human beings living inside that space for 4 years. The state attorney general used a specific word to describe the children found in that room. Feral. It's a word we use for animals that have reverted to a wild state. Unsocialized.
The conditions inside have been described as something you wouldn't even see in a third world country. Videos circulating online show the filth in the house. The children were kept in a 12 by 12 room, according to the sheriff.
As I was saying, most of our livestock.
The conditions inside have been described as something you wouldn't even see in a third world country. Videos circulating online show the filth in the house. The children were kept in a 12 by 12 room, according to the sheriff. As I was saying, most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children. That is the visual anchor for this entire investigation. Most livestock is kept in better conditions than these children. For 4 years, the Ciders family, Gary Sr., his wife Christina, their son Gary Jr., and his wife
in a third world country. Videos circulating online show the filth in the house. The children were kept in a 12 by 12 room, according to the sheriff.
As I was saying, most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children. It was extremely high presence, I'm sure, of bacterial and human feces. It was just a disgusting scene.
Can I ask both of you, what did you feel like walking through there? Not necessarily what it looked like or the description, but what was going through your mind?
So it was disgusting even where the kids weren't. I would think it's typical.
Eventually, the complaints were terminated in January of 2022. A document states the court finds that Elizabeth Ciders is unable to be served and the whereabouts of Elizabeth Ciders are unknown to the court. Therefore, it is hereby the order of the court that the above matter be terminated
Eventually, the complaints were terminated in January of 2022. A document states the court finds that Elizabeth Ciders is unable to be served and the whereabouts of Elizabeth Ciders are unknown to the court. Therefore, it is hereby the order of the court that the above matter be terminated until the availability of Elizabeth Ciders. Unable to be served. Unknown to the court. The system knocked on the door. Nobody answered, so they closed the file.
Gary and Elizabeth, or the children. The children had to have been registered for school, but the school district said they never attended, not even for a day, it would seem. That raises the question, had the Ciders already moved in 2021? Were they still in Gallia County, or had they already moved?
The children had to have been registered for school, but the school district said they never attended, not even for a day, it would seem. That raises the question, had the Ciders already moved in 2021? Were they still in Gallia County, or had they already moved to Vinton County? Let's connect the dots. The Ciders family had a P.O. box in Hamden as early as 2020. They were listed at a house on Main Street in Hamden before moving to the Omar Street address. The family moved from Gallia County to Vinton County approximately 4 years.
from Vinton County. This is not appropriate and certainly is not reflective of the Vinton County values.
Now, I've told you that the family was originally from Gallia County. Gallia is the county south of Vinton, and records show the family moved to Vinton County about 4 years ago. And there was likely a reason for that move. The puzzle pieces here, they're fitting together. They are painting the picture. It's becoming very clear. I've been telling you for the last week, the Children's Services had been looking into the Ciders family. That look at them started in Gallia County back in 2021. The juvenile court in Gallia County went looking for the Ciders after the older children didn't show up for school. The Ciders home at that time was on Honeysuckle Drive in Cheshire. That's the address listed on the court documents. These records show that in October 2021, complaints had been filed against Elizabeth and Gary Ciders because 6 of their children were considered truant, meaning they were chronically absent.
Yes, and at least that would be the proper step to take when the school district or children's services learn that there are children not attending school at all. Usually the truancy cases we've had over the years.
And at least that would be the proper step to take when the school district or children's services learn that there are children not attending school at all. Usually, the truancy cases we've had over the years are children that are excessively truant, and there's a statutory definition on different levels of absences, but it's somewhat rare to have children not at all going to school. Former Prosecutor Ron O'Brien says it's rare to have children not attending school at all, not just chronically absent, not just excessively truant, never enrolled, never.
Eventually, the complaints were terminated in January of 2022. A document states the court finds that Elizabeth Ciders is unable to be served and the whereabouts of Elizabeth Ciders are unknown to the court. Therefore, it is hereby the order of the court that the above matter be terminated until the availability of Elizabeth Ciders. The same document was filed for Gary Jr., the named father of the children. The court couldn't find Gary and Elizabeth or the children. The children had to have been registered for school, but the school district said they never attended, not even for a day, it would seem. That raises the question, had the Ciders already moved in 2021? Were they still in Gallia County, or had they already moved to Vinton County? I have found records showing there are issues.
No, that's exactly right, and at least what we found, and I had that truancy program, and it did the same kinds of things, and sometimes we found that mom and dad or a single parent went to work early in the morning and buying an alarm clock for the children so that they could get up and get out in front of the house at the school bus stop was solving the problem of truancy.
No, that's exactly right. And at least what we found, and I had that truancy program, and it did the same kinds of things. And sometimes we found that mom and dad or single parent went to work early in the morning and buying an alarm clock for the children. So they could get up and get out in front of the house at the school bus stop was solving the problem of truancy. An alarm clock. That's what solved truancy cases in Franklin County. A simple alarm clock. A parent working early mornings. A child who couldn't get up on time. That was the problem. That was fixable. But the Ciders case wasn't about alarm clocks.
In school is a red flag enough. That's a major red flag right there. But Ron, have you ever, in your career, your lengthy career as a prosecutor, seen a family that just simply doesn't send their children to school and just squirrels them away, it appears? It appears they just have the kids, according to what the prosecutors have said, hidden in the house. I mean, I don't know if I've ever heard of such a thing.
Well, I would have to say that I've seen it before, but not with 16 kids. And that's amazing to me in this entire case that people in Gallia County, people in Vinton County, neighbors, people at the gas station, grocery store, and whatever. No one in a small village of only 200 was aware that there were 16 kids behind the closed doors of that home. Vinton County is the poorest county in Ohio.
Available specifically for the care of these children. I've been doing this in one capacity or another for 40 years. I've never seen anything like this. This is to have kids that would be off the radar. A child off the radar is terrible enough. 16 kids in one family in one household, to be off the radar is something that I've just not seen.
Ohio's controlling board approved sending $1 million to the Department of Youth and Children in Southeast Ohio to help care for the Ciders children. That amount could just be a drop in the bucket, though.
These kids are safe. They are being cared for. They are receiving treatments And we expect there to be a lot more services that these children will need to address the traumas that they've received. And some of these things they'll probably be dealing with for life.
So to discuss all of these new revelations, I want to bring in Ron O'Brien. He is the former elected prosecutor of Franklin County, Ohio. That's the state's capital. Columbus is in Franklin County. Ron, thank you so much.
I think every county probably has some of that going on. It's just usually neighbors help take care of you, though. No, that's the best thing about living in a small town. Everybody knows everybody, so how would you not know that's going on?
Obviously, in Gallia County, it came to their attention by virtue of the lack of attendance, and that's 5 years ago. So within the last 5 years, somebody somewhere should have been looking to the circumstances of these children and their parents. Somebody somewhere should have been looking. That's the indictment, not just of the parents, but of the systems. The hospitals that delivered 10 children over a few years. The food stamp program that registered the family. The OBGYNs who saw the mother prenatally. The Department of Jobs and Family Services that issued the benefits. Somewhere along the line, someone should have asked a question, should have seen the pattern, should have knocked on the door. But nobody did. And so the children remained hidden until
children not at all going to school, and that's what happened here. And when they learned about it, apparently they filed a complaint in the Gallia County court. But like any other court document, you have to get service, and they couldn't get service, is what I understand was the problem, number one. And number two, when they did try and find them, they were unable to find them either at different locations.
These kids in October of 2021, according to the court document, they hadn't been to school all year at all. So that's quite a long time. And in order to be truant, you would first have to be registered as a student in the school district, correct?
Yes, you'd have to register in the school district and be assigned to a specific school and then attend. And if they are at least excessively late, tardy, or truant, then there's a truancy officer that is to attempt to contact the parents. And
the attorney for Gary Sears Jr. filed a motion asking for a gag order, citing the comments made by Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson that I played for you earlier. Attorney R. Lee Roberts said the comments were putting his client and other defendants at risk of not receiving a fair trial. The judge signed the order prohibiting the sheriff, attorney general, or prosecutor from making statements or releasing.
When I was in town over the weekend, somebody told me they would come into the Dollar General store and pay with, they called it a food card, which that's like that EBT card. But the question is, who was that card registered to? And we're still trying to get to the bottom of that. Right now, the prosecutor has said, at least as of last week, he said that the grandparents were the only ones that he was aware of who were receiving benefits. But we're going to continue to keep digging into that. I've put some feelers out on that with the Department of Children and Youth, and we're waiting to hear back. So Ron O'Brien, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. It's been great having you.
Talk with you and look forward to watching your continued reporting on this very terrible circumstance.
Thank you. Now let's discuss this gag order signed by Judge Rogers. The attorney for Gary Ciders Jr. filed a motion asking for a gag order, citing the comments made by Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson that I played for you earlier. Attorney R. Lee Roberts said the comments were putting his client and other defendants at risk of not receiving a fair trial. The judge signed the order, prohibiting the sheriff, attorney general, or prosecutor from making statements or releasing information about the case or the evidence. So stay tuned for more on that. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time. They were chronically absent from school. The complaint states the child's name, which we have blacked out. Then it states that Gary and Elizabeth have failed to cause said child to attend some school or class as required by law. The child has been absent from school without legitimate excuse for the entire 2021-2022 academic year to present an amount in excess of 72 hours for the school year, and as such is thereby a habitual truant. Now, this truancy complaint is for 6 of the 16 Ciders children. Of course, some weren't even born yet. The oldest at that time would have been 13. In the state of Ohio, it's illegal to not send your children to school. Parents have a duty and an obligation to ensure their child is in school. The statute states that parents whose children are determined to be habitually truant and do not get their kids to school can face fines or even child neglect charges.